the face you don't dare. I rule on earth. I win everywhere. Good as from the fall. Good as only home. You're listening to Dominion Voice.
Maslow said the second phase of need is safety. Everybody wants safety. Safety, security, health, employment, property, family, social stability. That is the second need. Safety. Check it very well. Everybody wants to be safe. You know, I was meditating. I was sharing with someone some time ago. Someone say, the government collects so much tax, and then they start giving money to people who are lazy. The person termed it as lazy. How do they have to feed some people who don't have this? How do they have to provide shelter for people who don't have it? I said, well, you don't know. The important thing is that these people that the government is helping out, giving money, providing shelter, and all, if you don't provide it for them, they will look for a means to get it. And looking for means to get it means there is going to be an increase in crime. So what is the government doing? Is working out on safety. If there is no food in people's house, they say, okay, you can go to the food bank and collect food. Why? Because once you solve that challenge, the thought of crime drops. The thought of I have to go and steal to eat, it drops. So it's not per se, yes, it's a good thing to do that, but at the same time, you are providing safety. What of shelter? Why did the government provide shelters for people? Because they don't want people to die. Because if the snow comes and it's very cold, people start dying, and if people don't know, everybody has to think of how I'm going to survive. So what happens? They run into the people start breaking into people's houses to stay warm. So, shelter, security, health. Number 3 thing is love and belonging. Love, belonging. Now the question is, where that business you are thinking about, where does it fall into in this category? Are you there? Where does that business you are thinking, does it fall into the first law, into the first hierarchy, or the second, or it falls in the third one? Love and belonging is the third one. Everybody wants to be loved. Everyone wants to belong. Friendship, family intimacy, sense of connection. Then number 4, self-esteem, which is your confidence, achievements, respect, and others. Number 5, which is the last, is self-actualization, morality, creativity, and all. Now, where that business, that idea you are thinking of, where does it fall into? If it falls into the realm of the luxury, then you already put out a large chunk of people who are not going to be a benefit to your business. Are we there? So we have to look at this. What is the need? What is the need? Tuji said he's into haulage. Why is he into haulage? What is the need? There is need for transportation. Move crude from one place to another. Why? Because the pipeline is not yet put in place. Are you there? But immediately the pipeline is put in place and we don't need to move move crude from one place to another, then you have to start thinking that, oh, I have to think of something else. I have to think of something else to do. And because, not that it will go flat, but you realize that the competition will drop. It will drop. Haulage will drop. And then if it is not longer crude, then you might begin to think of other places. Okay, Walmart needs to move things. All these stores need to move things. They have to move things from one place to another. Then you have to start thinking of somewhere else. Praise the Lord. So what you have to do is we have to look at the need. This is extremely important. If we can get it right, in the area of number 1, our mentality to think differently, and then number 2 is what I am looking out to do. Is it meeting a need? If it's not meeting a need, then you may not have adequate patronage. And you have to know that without patronage, there is no business. If you start up your business and you don't have any patronage, then you don't have a business. It is patronage, demand, that drives a business. It is patronage that drives a business. It's patronage that drives a business. So you have to look at yourself. The business I'm doing, why is it crawling? The business I'm doing, why is it failing? Is it that, what class, where does it belong to? Now we talked of health. doctors, nurses, they will always, there is a need there. There is a need. There's nothing you can do about that. So we have to look at this. Number two in the phase one is that after discovering the need and your mentality is, you have to look for a good business idea. Study your skills. Now, listen, all of us that are here in this room, we and everyone listening to the sound of my voice, listen carefully. We cannot all do the same business. It's not possible because we are wired differently. The way we think is different. If somebody is doing a business that is making good profit, does not mean that you also can go there. Are you wired to do that business? What is the good? You have to come up with a good business idea. You have to study yourself, study your skill, watch your current trend, look for ways to improve the existing concept. Now, the business you are going into, it is already existing. What can I do to create, just to tweak it, to make it better, to do it differently, So you have to look at the way you are wired. For example, now, somebody was saying that some time ago, she said, I want to study medicine. I said, okay, you want to study medicine? But he said, whenever I see blood, I'm afraid. You want to study medicine? You already know that, you will deal with blood. You will open up people. So you have to know what exactly you are doing in going to business. Somebody said, I want to go into business. Like he said, naturally he loved driving. But he said, okay, he loves driving. Well, he didn't tell us how much profit he's making, but you should have a rough idea when he's talking about having a truck is about 300,000. So if you fire your mind, you will know, okay, maybe we should even ask him how many trucks does he have to know exactly and all. But come to think of it, if because you see him doing that haulage, and you say, now I want to go do haulage, and you don't love to drive, you're already in the wrong business. You must look at inwardly. Every one of us, we are created differently. So you have to look inwardly. What am I? What is it that I love to do? What is it that I love to do that I can do, even if I'm not paid, I can do it for free? What is it that I love to do? So you have to find out. You have to find out. And then when you make up your mind, okay, this is where I'm going to go and check the current trend and look for ways, okay, how can I tweak my own that will make it different to attract other people? And then number three, after you have done this, is you have to write down your business plan. There is no business that you are going to do that you are thinking of in my brain. When you say, oh, what's your business? I say, yes, I know. If I buy this, I'm going to look at a lot of people who want to go into trade business. They say, if I buy this for $5, I take it, bring it from Toronto, from Vancouver, and I bring it to Edmonton. I say, okay, is this amount? You are doing it all on your head. No. You don't run business that way. You have to write down. You have to look at your business plan. This is your blueprint for the business. Now, writing your business plan will not make you to discover what profit. And this is never static. It keeps changing because government laws are changing. So you must persist and not give up. You must write down your business plan. Some time ago, somebody came to me and said, well, we want to buy some things from the US and ship it to Africa to sell. And they said, it's very profitable. I said, okay, it's very profitable. Can I have your projection? He said, what's this projection? I just know at this. I said, no. Let's come together. So I sat down with him and I put down the projection. What's the cost? What's the haulage? What's the freight? What's the freight? Are you going to freight it by air? Or you're going to freight it by ship? If it's going to be by ship, by sea, it's going to be cheaper. If it's going to be by air, it may be more expensive. But you will have time. You will save time. If it is by air, within 3 days, it's getting to the location. If it's by sea, it's going to take at least 2 weeks. So look at it. Then when you look at it, then if I ship it by air and it gets there, can I quickly sell and have a turnover? Or I should take it by ship, which is by 2 weeks, and then it will get to my location. How much money would I have tied down? Could I have turned over this money if I take it by air or doing it by road? Then what about the exchange? Whatever you buy here, what is the current exchange that you bought vis-a-vis the nation you are taking it to? If you take it to that nation and then the exchange rate drops, you may realize that you may have a challenge. So you have to factor in all this. So we sat down and I began to look at it. But good enough, when we looked at it, the net profit on it was about 50%. So it's a good one. So no matter the shock you may have in the business can still absorb it. So you have to have your blueprint, have your business plan. Are we together? Praise God. So let me review. Let's have a quick review of phase 1. Number 1, what you should look out for in number 1? Tell me, Clutch. Your mindset. Number 2, identify needs. Identify need. Number 3, what? You have a good idea. And then number 3 is have a good business plan. Your business plan must be written. This phase is the most important. If you get it right in this phase, your business has the likelihood of 70% success. Did you get what I just said? You're likely to have 70% success. Look into yourself, the way you are wired, your ideas. The need, not because and when you talk of need, not because people would not, it's not, I will force myself on you. No. Do you need it? Is it a need? Phase 2 is after you have done this phase 1. Now listen, this phase 1 could take you a year. It took me 3 years. This phase 1 that we just talked about. It took me 3 years of thinking. In between those 3 years, I had 5 businesses at heart, which I wrote down. And all the 5 looked profitable, but there was one that I had to take. So that phase 1 is the most important. It's extremely important. Don't start to rush into business until you have answered that phase 1 correctly. Phase 2. After you have gotten that phase 1 correctly, then the phase 2 is you have to choose a business name and register it. Your business name must communicate your business. It also helps with marketing. For example, if you are into, let's say, haulage, for example, and you want to name your business. If I decide to name it Larry Freight, anybody that hears, for example, Larry Freight, all already knows that it has to do with haulage. It has to do with movement. So when you enter into a place or the name of your business is mentioned, the name of your business must first of all introduce itself without you talking. This fact I learned from a young chap that I called together that we're going to partner. When I was going to start business, I said, okay, fine. I had a company which had utilities. Then we're going to start, and I called this young guy. I said, no. He said, sir, no, let's not use utilities. Let's go and register another company that portrays what the business is about. And immediately we registered it. Anytime we mention that name, everybody knows what the business is. Are you with me? You have to know. It has to be known. So the business name must reflect what the business is about. It must. And not only must you must register it. Why do you have to register it? If you don't register that business name, and it's a very good name, and you don't register it, mind you, somebody else may see that name and go to In and Out Registry to go register. And once that person registers it, you cannot register it again. Why? Because it's that business name that you will use to open a bank account. It's that which you will use to build. So if you don't register it and somebody else takes it, you have just helped that person to build his business, what we call goodwill. Because people already know that name. They already know that name. So if that person registers and starts that same business, people will think it's the same you. Whereas you have made so much noise to the outside that people already know. Are we there? So registering a business name is important. Your business name should communicate your business ideas. It helps your marketing and especially for identification purpose. Then number 2 in this phase 2 is be clear about your business structure. Make up your mind ab initio. What is this business structure going to be? Is it going to be a sole proprietorship that is one-man business? You may employ people, but it is one man. That's by structure. The government says only one person owns this business. Or could it be a partnership? And let me tell you sincerely that the challenge of partnership, we just heard from the practical example. You understand what I'm saying? You have to know, you have to make up your mind. Now, when you are going into partnership is good, but you must go in with the right people. You must go in with the right partner. You must. And please, when you are going into partnership, you must have your terms and conditions spelled out. Don't just assume. For example, if I choose now to have a business, the only person I don't have to have terms and conditions for when I'm doing business is my wife. Because no matter the terms and conditions, it will be, I mean, you understand what I'm saying? Even at that, even between husband and wife, there are times, dear, please, this money, we want to use it for something. So let it not go for home keeping. Let it not go for jewelries. Let it not go for this. Let's not go for that. There must be some terms and conditions. You know, I must have shared this with us before. When working then, in the bank, and a couple came to our office to access a loan. And then it got to the point where we wanted to fill in the mandate card, who is to sign to withdraw money. And the wife was quick to say, any should sign to withdraw money. And the husband said, oh, sorry. Let's have it that A can sign a loan to withdraw money, but B must sign with A to be able to withdraw money. And the wife said, excuse me, who will be B? And the man said, you will be B, I will be A. I mean, true story, they were right in front of me. And the wife was hungry. How can you say I cannot sign a loan to withdraw money? And the man said, there was a time we had a business like this together, and I go to the bank to withdraw money for the project, we had it in mind, and my account officer told me, Madam was here yesterday to withdraw money, and she didn't. I was okay. He reduced the balance. I got home and said, dear, what happened? You withdrew money yesterday. He said, yeah. I forgot to tell you. He said, what did you use it for? He said, I bought some trinkets, I bought some gold, some jewelries, and I had to quickly pay. And the man said, for project, you bought jewelries? As the woman was saying, you bought jewelries. Unconsciously, I started looking at the woman. I looked at her. She had a gold in the ring, in the nose. She had about 2 gold earrings. She had about 2 layers of, when you see it, it's real gold. In the hands as jewelry and rings, gold, necklace. And, she sat in front of me. So I looked from the top. I was looking down. And I looked to her ankle. She had a gold bracelet, even in the ankle. So, as I looked down and I was bringing my eyes up, the woman was staring into my eyes. Okay, now you've looked down, now you are back. What's your stress? And I smiled and I said, okay, let me get up from my seat. You both can agree and look at it. Now, what am I talking about here? Even between husband and wife, you could see the friction. So when you are going into partnership, spell it out. Don't just say, oh, it's my brother. Don't just say it's my brother. It's okay. He can't. No. Spell it out. Now, listen, there are so many risks that are in business. The tide may turn and there may be losses. And just somebody just walk away and leave you with the losses. Or, God forbid, what if God calls you home in the midst of a highly profitable business and God calls you home? And then your partner is your brother, but your wife does not know so much about it. What would your brother do if he's not someone that is God-fearing? Just walk away with the business. He may say, okay, let's say at the initial, say, I will do the needful, I will do. And at the end of the day, your children may be stranded out there. So you must have proper structure. And then it may be a corporation. But what I'm trying to bring out here is, please have a good business structure. Have a good business structure. Write it down. Spell it out. You may need to go and register it. Your partner may tell you, don't you trust me? You know what you will say? Just say, I trust you, but I don't trust myself. Once you say that, what's the stress? You understand what I'm saying? Let it be spelled out. I'm very sure if Tunji and his partner, I had that story now for the first time, if they have spelled it out, that if I put my service here, I will collect my salary, and at the same time, there is need for profit sharing at the end of the day, that challenge wouldn't have come up. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because you can be working in the business, be earning your income, and at the end of the day, you will still collect your profit, you still do profit sharing. If you also want to do, please come put your service. You cannot put your service out there, earning something, and I am working on that play, and you think I would not be paid. It's not done. Are we together? So you must spell it out. Don't just assume. This second phase is also very important.